So since the pandemic, when the economy dipped by -23, our efforts to recover the economy has been through the capex route, capital expenditure route from the government side. And this, because it has great multiplier effect, enables to have in situ jobs created where the projects of the public expenditure are being spent and the projects are being made to rise. So that immediately in situ creates a lot of jobs and therefore triggers better income and therefore triggers better consumption. This is a well-established route in terms of multiplier for capital expenditure, as different from the route which is asserted by economists when you give money in the hands of the people, where the multiplier is far lesser than a rupee spent, is far lesser than that rupee spent. The next very important line is also enhancing the productive capacities in the economy so that we can spur and sustain domestic demand. Third is also an approach which is comprehensive, looking at social security. I already explained the inflation management. So these four major routes and activities have actually kept the economy in a sustained growth path. So in a way, if I have to put in a few words what this budget of 2023-24 is, it actually, in a way, if I can say, astutely balances the requirement for India's development imperatives within the limits of fiscal prudence. So that is a very difficult balance. I'm sure most of us who are speaking on the Indian economy and the budget would observe that it is a very, very tight, measure. It's a very delicately balanced act, and that's what has been achieved in 2023-24 budget, without compromising on India's growth potential and sustaining the growth momentum. We also have made sure that fiscal prudence is maintained as per the glide path we had given 2 years ago. We were in a stretched fiscal situation, sir, post the pandemic. However, the growth in 23-24, the period for which this budget is presented here, will be with good policies such as the PM Gati Shakti, National Logistics Policy, and also the PLI scheme, and with cooperative federalism in mind, empowering states is of great concern for us. And as I go about speaking on specific points on which members of parliament have spoken, I'll also highlight what measures, even as of today, I have taken in order to maintain the state's fiscal health and also ensure that money is in their hands at the time when they need it. So actually from the budget itself, I wanted to place on record again through this response my reply. But even as I heard very many members speak about it, there was this repeated question about, are we giving enough for the states? Total resources are being transferred to states. I'd like to highlight and begin with that. Total resources being transferred to the states, that is the central share in taxes, releases under the centrally sponsored schemes, both put together, under the BE 23-24, which is the proposed budget which is on the table of this House for consideration, is estimated at 17.98 lakh crores. This is higher. This is higher by 1.55 lakh crores over the last year, which is the current running year as of March 31st, 2023. So this is higher by 1.55 lakh crores over RE of 22-23. I'm not even comparing it with the BE. Even over the RE, what we proposed in the current budget, which is under the consideration of the Parliament, is far higher. It is higher by 1.55 lakh crores. And 2.9 lakh crores and it is 2.91 lakh crore more than the actual of 21-22, the year before. The capital expenditure for 23-24 is at 10 lakh crore, which most members have heard me say, whereas in the year 19-20, this amount was only 3.39 lakh crores. And if I go to the last full budget presented during the UPA's 10 years, that is in 2013-14, it was only 2.91 lakh crores. 2.91 lakh crores in 13-14, the last of the UPA budgets. 2019-20 budget, which is the budget before the pandemic, it was 3.39 lakh crores. So the states will be the partners in this massive capital expenditure exercise. And in the budget of 23-24, that is the current budget, we have made an allocation of 1.3 lakh crores to the states as interest-free capital expenditure loan, which will run for 50 years. So 1.3 lakh crore is being given to states as 50-year loan without interest. So the state's interest has always been kept up and kept in our mind, and making sure that we are in time giving them what is their rightful amounts. Sir, whilst I go through the members and their points, I'm just broadly telling you the issues which this budget addresses and made specific allocations. Broadly, the headings are middle class, employment related, MSME related, agriculture related, rural population related, health related, and green growth related. So I will very quickly just give you the bullets under each of them so that all of us have a complete comprehensive picture on each of these headings. For middle class, sir, the new tax regime is very attractive. No tax for those with income less than 7 lakhs. Tax exemption limit will be 3 lakh under new regime against what was prevailing at 2.5 lakhs earlier. Standard deduction for salaried allowed in new regime as well. Will reduce tax liability. This proposal will reduce tax liability for majority of middle class taxpayers. New regime will be the standard or default. Taxpayers will have to opt for the old regime if she or he wants. Doubling of investment limit in small savings schemes from 15 to 30 lakh, and increase in limit of monthly income scheme benefiting senior citizens and others through high interest rate with full safety will also benefit the middle class. And finally, for middle class, new small savings scheme for women and girls with attractive interest rate of 7.5% for a 2-year tenure. So here, I can't see member N.K. Premchandran, who asked for a clarification regarding the new income tax regime. He said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting his exact words, but he said that under the old tax regime, a common man can save up to 4.5 lakh on his income from 9 lakhs. On his income of 9 lakhs, he can save up to 4.5 lakhs. However, he said in the new regime that won't help at all. In reality, sir, it is very difficult, actually, strictly speaking, for a common man who earns 9 lakhs to avail 4.5 lakhs in deduction. And after all, since he has to run the family as well as think of constantly